What's up everyone, and welcome back to another What If video. We left off on the last part with Gohan Black being killed after provoking Gohan and the rest of his group, meaning Zamasu is alone, at least for the moment. Not knowing how to kill Zamasu, since he's immortal, the group had no other option but to get out of there, go back to their own timeline, and try to figure out a solution. They need to think of some way to defeat Zamasu, but need to be safe for the moment to heal and actually figure out that plan. We ended off the last part with the group arriving back to the past after their encounter with Zamasu. After finally making it back, now the group is stuck on what to do. Everyone is pretty beaten up, especially Gohan, so Goku and Gohan teleport the group to the lookout for a quick healing since they have no Senzu beans at the moment. Thank God for Dende. Thank Dende for Dende? I don't know. Anyways, while on the lookout, the idea of using the evil containment wave that was used against King Piccolo was brought up. Thinking it's a good idea, Goku decides to head off to Kame House and takes Gohan with him without even asking. He just wants him to come along, so he puts his hand on him and they teleport off. And with Vegeta and Trunks there, they may as well make use of their time. The time chamber is right there, so why not head into it for a bit? Vegeta, being Vegeta, thinks that brute force is the best option, even though it's not really going to work at all. He can train himself to surpass Kakarot and Gohan, and strengthen Trunks in the meantime. About a day passes. Each father-son group is using their own methods of training, and it's working pretty well. While that was going on, Zamasu was doing some preparations of his own. Sure, Gohan Black might be gone, but he's not the only other Zamasu out there. With the time ring, he could build an army of Zamasus if he pleases. Maybe that would be a good idea for him? He thinks about it, and he begins work on gathering some Zamasus. He doesn't need a bunch, just a couple dozen or so, especially if they're all immortal. Surely this plan would work. And it does. Given the powers of the time ring, Zamasu is able to do it. He has an army of Zamasus, no Gohan Black, Goku Black, or whatever this time, even though he's going to other timelines. He only wants pure original Zamasus that are all immortal and share his goal, so there's no conflict this time. He's ready to strike back now. Vegeta and Trunks exit the time chamber after a successful training session. Suddenly, they sense a large power approaching out of nowhere, and they know exactly who it is. Goku and Gohan teleport up there to retrieve the two, and head towards the source of ki. Of course, it's Zamasu, who traveled here with the time rings. Vegeta and Trunks are ready to fight, but Goku and Gohan are prepared. Gohan takes out a small container and places it down for Goku. Zamasu is confused, but he watches closely. This probably means nothing. Before he knows it, he's being pulled in by Goku and is sealed in the container by Gohan. Huh, that was pretty easy. They can just take this container to Whis or Beerus and have one of them dispose of it somehow. A ki blast comes out of nowhere and destroys the container, freeing Zamasu from inside. And of course, the ki blast comes from another Zamasu. There's two now? What? Well, that's fine. Goku and Gohan have a few extra containers. They can just contain them, right? Nope. More Zamasus show up. Then more. Then more. It's a small army of them. There's no way they can contain them all. This looks like the end for the group. With no choice other than fighting, they all power up. Vegeta's a little overconfident, and decides that he and Trunks should show off a new little trick of theirs. On one hand, Vegeta was able to master Super Saiyan Blue in the time chamber, and it makes him much more powerful and efficient when using the form. He's easily able to wipe out one of the Zamasus, but then he just regenerates. Brute force will not work no matter how strong, it'll just prolong the fight. Everyone else powers up, and now Trunks shows off something that he unlocked in the time chamber with his training from Vegeta. Super Saiyan God. Sadly, it seems like the work was for nothing. Even though he has this new form, there's too many Zamasus for them to even handle. They all fight, and even though the Zamasus aren't really that strong individually, the regeneration and massive numbers make up for it greatly. None of them are pulled back into their timelines this time like Gohan Black. All seems lost for everyone. A while into the fight, Beerus ends up appearing, and he has no trouble disposing of some of the Zamasus. However, even with his destructive powers, Beerus has stated that he can't kill immortal people with it, so even though he's way more powerful than one of the Zamasus alone, his powers aren't really going to do anything to kill them, just like everyone else. They only help to hold off the invasion, but again, it'll just prolong the inevitable. With dozens of Zamasus being immortal, all seems lost, everything's over. During the fight, Goku double checks to see if he has any Senzu beans, even if it's just one. He knows they ran out, but maybe there's one left somewhere, and while he's digging through his clothes, he finds something else. The Zeno button. Yep. Had to bring this one in. Remembering what it is and seeing no other option, he calls Zeno there. even though Beerus is terrified of that. Zeno then arrives, and he actually saves the day. Goku tells him who all these guys are, and the army of evil Kais is taken aback in fear, and they all start to retreat, but they can't escape Zeno. One by one, Zeno erases these guys, knowing that they're all a threat to the universes and other timelines. Welp, that would have been a much better solution if Goku just remembered it from the start, but instead he just stumbled upon it by chance. Zeno thought that was kind of fun, and he tells Goku that he hopes to see him again and he hopes to have more fun soon. With everyone bowing in fear, Zeno takes his leave as Goku says goodbye, with Zeno returning back to his palace. That was a lot simpler than they thought. Crisis averted kinda? I mean, the area's kinda destroyed because of Zamasu, but nothing they can't repair. Beerus scolds Goku for being reckless like that, but he stops because he realizes that it saved everyone and everything, and it worked out for the best. Sorry that it's kinda anticlimactic, but I'm just following what happened in the original story in a way. Especially in this situation, it's really the only realistic way to defeat him, and sadly, the only option in the story. Zamasu wouldn't just be sitting in the future waiting for them to seal him. It wouldn't be that easy. But I'd rather focus on a realistic defeat rather than saying that they kill all the Zamasus with a magic sword or something, and then the universe is erased. Yeah, I'm not gonna go that far like the original. Trunks and Mai now wait a bit until they're sure it's safe to head back, and they do. Their timeline actually remains intact this time. They thank everyone and say goodbye, heading back to rebuild and finally live in a peaceful future for once. Now, things can return to normal. Well, at least for a bit. Everyone continues with their training, and no threats appear. After some time, Goku is on Beerus' planet training with Vegeta and now Broly, who is training more to try and unlock God forms for himself, but he's nowhere near close yet. After mastering Super Saiyan, he did get Super Saiyan 2, but he hasn't made much progress in terms of forms. He is still a lot stronger though. And of course, his version of Super Saiyan 2 is pretty different from everyone else because he was able to tap into his full power form and control it. So when he's a Super Saiyan 2, he's at maximum power. And that maximum power consists of a lot of power, pretty much like Kale. Same for everyone else. Goku's able to master Super Saiyan Blue after Vegeta, Gohan does the same and of course combines it with Ultimate again, basically now having Ultimate to a point where it's as easy to use as his base form, and everyone's just stronger all around. With all the time and training, it's not really that hard. But he and Vegeta end up slacking off a bit, and Goku's really the only one still training, as Gohan's back on Earth a bunch, and Vegeta is about to have another kid. So Goku and Broly are training with Beerus and Whis, and then they get a special visitor, Zeno. Since there's no second Zeno for him to play with in this timeline, he's kinda bored and he wants to have some fun. So instead of Goku speeding up the process by asking Zeno, Zeno is instead the one to suggest the Tournament of Power to Goku, and obviously Goku likes the idea, so Zeno begins to set it up. Beerus is pissed, but Zeno was gonna do this anyway, so we can't blame Goku. We don't really need to cover the exhibition match, it's pretty much the same except it's a lot easier, and Broly is there instead of Boo, because, there's no Boo in this timeline. The real hard part is gathering fighters after that, so they have to do that now. The team is actually a little bit different this time. The Shuins are Goku, Gohan, Broly, and Piccolo, and eventually Vegeta once Bra is born thanks to the help of Whis. Considering that the two kids are training as well, Goku also considers recruiting Goten and Trunks. After they find out what's at stake, they end up taking it seriously and get pumped, so yeah, now they're on the team. With the training they've been doing alongside Piccolo and Gohan, they're way more disciplined now and more powerful. They don't need to only fight as Gotenks anymore, which would be bad because if they fuse then there would be short a fighter on the team. So that's 7 fighters they got right now. As for the remaining 2 fighters, Gohan is able to recruit another member easily, Videl. She has been training of course, and after being in the Universe 6 tournament, she should be able to handle herself pretty well for this one. She's proved herself before. So that's 8 people. Goku goes to recruit his best friend next, obviously that's Krillin. 18 isn't too interested in joining, and Goku has other options for people he needs to ask at the moment, so he doesn't need to bribe her to join. But he'll keep her in mind. Same for 17. Right now, just Krillin joins, and they're up to 9 fighters. Goku then goes to ask Tien, who's a little iffy at first, just like normal, but he will consider. Goku doesn't try to convince him right away, since he's gonna go ask Roshi next, as Tien might not even want to join. However, Gohan has another suggestion for a fighter if they can't get Tien, but he's not too sure. This fighter's pretty powerful, but it might break some rules. Wanting to make sure that Trunks' timeline is safe from Zamasu, and the fact that they need a new fighter, Gohan thinks it might be a good idea to check up on future Trunks, and while there, they can recruit him as well if Zeno's okay with it. being a Super Saiyan God, he'd be a really powerful ally to have. Since they're not sure how Zeno's gonna react, we're always gonna say that they first need to check with him. Goku is able to go over there, Zeno bends the rules usually if he thinks something is fun, so he might accept this contender. But there's a chance he'll deny it, of course, in which case Goku will really need to try and convince Tien. But once Goku's there, yeah, Zeno is excited to hear this. A fighter from another timeline sounds awesome, even though it kinda breaks some rules, but he's still kinda from the same universe, so he doesn't really care. With Bulma having replicated the time machine on her own time for some quote-unquote research, and being able to calibrate it like Trunks' time machine, Gohan and Vegeta use that to travel to Trunks' timeline, and sure enough, the timeline's safe. Everything's going well. Cities are being rebuilt pretty quickly, civilizations are restored, and things are happy. Trunks is even trying to start up Capsule Corp again, even though he's not really the scientist type. But given all the valuable stuff Capsule Corp contributes to society, this is something he wants to do to help out, so he can at least try to manage some stuff there. Vegeta fills Trunks in on what's happening, and Trunks' smile turns into a serious look. Knowing that this timeline is safe for the moment, and that he won't be gone for that long, Trunks ends up accepting. I mean, everyone else helped save his timeline, so the least he can do is help save theirs by joining this tournament, even though it's kinda risky. So with the team now set for the tournament, we'll leave off here for now. With the new group, how will the tournament go? Specifically, how will Broly, Future Trunks, and Videl perform? Will Goten and present Trunks be able to handle themselves well? Comment your suggestions below while we prepare for the next part. As always, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications about future parts of this What If and other videos of mine. Since we're doing something a little special this week, we're gonna finish off this What If, so the finale and the next part will be out on Thursday, and you'll get to see what happens in the tournament power there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on that next part.